So, some known facts before the campaign. For the 107,000 children who are available for adoption in the U.S. foster care system, there are two very different paths to be adopted by a permanent family or age out. Now, by age out, I mean you leave the foster care system by age 21 or younger. Some people can leave it by 18 or older. The older you get, the least likely is to be adopted, and we're trying to change that. The foundation is trying to change that. So if they age too much, they can leave the foster care without care and support of a permanent, loving family. Thousands of children enter foster care through no fault of their own as victims of abuse, neglect, or abandonment, and are subsequently permanently removed from their homes because their birth families are unable or unwilling to provide safe environments for them. Remember, these aren't the kids' faults that they're in these foster cares. This just happened to them. They don't get to choose. It's just part of the life. Despite policy advancements for children in the child welfare system, the number of older youth aging out of foster care continues to rise. In 1998, now remember, this foundation began in 2002. In 1998, approximately 17,300 youth emancipated from foster care. So this means you have 17,300 kids, or youth, just by themselves. You know, we're all in college, and hopefully we're all under the support of our parents still. And think about if you had to emancipate from the foster care system and be by yourself for who knows how long. In addition, giving a child a permanent, supportive, and loving family, and we know investments in foster care adoptions saves money. Multiple research studies have found that adoption represents a cost savings to taxpayers, with one indicating that each dollar spent on the adoption of a child from U.S. foster care yields to $3 in benefits to society. That's huge. Let's imagine you go to Wendy's drive-thru. You get 99-cent crispy McNuggets, all right? Or sorry, nuggets. And you get they just put 3 in your bag. I mean, it's your lucky day. So think about how awesome that feels. That $1 can mean $3 to benefit the society. Now we're going to get to the research findings that helped create the survey. Before compiling the list, DTFA conducted a survey of 1,600 Americans to gain better knowledge on opinions of adoption. As you just learned, Americans had a lot of misconceptions about adopting children from foster care. The foundation noticed that no other organization provided surveys of the quality adoption benefit packages at American businesses. Like I said, this foundation wanted to break through. They wanted to be the first to tackle this and change foster care adoption. In order to change that, the foundation researched existing workplace-related surveys to develop the best tactics for developing a list of America's best adoption-friendly workplaces. They consider a list such as Fortune's magazine's 100 best companies to work for. They looked at how they collected their data, the methodology, and how they publicized the list. They also interviewed a focus group of HR professionals to learn what's important to them, their companies, and their employees regarding adoption. I want to leave you with this one last thought about research that we've done. Nearly 81.5 million Americans have considered adopting a child. If just 1 in 500 of these adults actually adopted, every waiting child in foster care would have a permanent family. 1 in 500. That is a minuscule number. Alright? That is just, the odds of that are just, if one person would just adopt a child, 1 out of 500, it would solve this problem. So I think this is a great segue into the next video we're going to show you that's titled, I'm Just a Kid.
My dream is to be a lawyer. My dream is to be a Batman. I want to be a chef because I love food. My dream is to be a doctor, a teacher. My dream is to be a ballerina, a fireman. kid ready to be adopted? For the facts about adopting a child from foster care, contact the Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption.
Okay, well, building off of the research and what Andrew presented,
Okay,
Oh, sorry.
before you go with the planning and execution, I'm going to just do the 3 objectives that. Sorry. I'm going to talk about the 3 objectives that Paul Worth Associates set up for this campaign. The first one was to make adoption more affordable for families as measured by an increase in employee benefits provided to adoption families through their career and organizations that they work for. The second objective was to educate potential adoptive parents and to overcome the misconceptions of adoption. So the stereotypical thoughts that everyone had about adoption, it being expensive, them all being in juvenile delinquents. They wanted to change that view of adoption throughout America through media coverage, their website, and research opportunities such as speeches. And the last one was to raise awareness about the number of kids available for adoption. It's almost 130,000 kids who are currently available for adoption through the foster care system. They wanted to increase that number through National Adoption Day. They wanted people to be aware of the number and scope through events that celebrated foster care adoption, and they wanted media coverage of these events and to measure all this through online hits of their website.
now it's my turn. But building off of those objectives and research that Andrew presented, the foundation wanted to raise awareness of their campaign. So to do so, they wanted to attract companies, and a good way to do it was to develop a list. This list was sort of similar to other lists that they've seen before, such as in Forbes magazine, Fortune 500 magazine, and basically it offered a list of the top 100 companies that offer the best benefits for employees looking to adopt. The top 100 list also is a great way to keep the stewardship going because it's something that happens annually, and companies are really trying to compete with each other to get the top spot, and also newer companies are coming in and trying to get a spot on the list as well. The good thing about attracting companies is compared to going out and just attracting people on a personal level, companies are all employed, so they have people who are working for them who are probably looking to adopt, knowing the odds of how many people are looking to. Prior to making the first list, they sent out a survey to over 40,000 different business leaders and HR professionals, as well as data they got from their surveys online on their home website. The big thing they based their rankings off of were the maximum financial reimbursements per adoption. So every adoption that was made, what was the monetary amount that the company would give them for doing it. And the second one is the maximum number of weeks of paid leave per adoption. This would be anything from 1 day to 3 weeks. One of the highest companies that are ranked up there gave up to 3 years off for one adoption. Yeah, it's a lot. And companies with both criteria ranked higher on the list, as opposed to one that just offered monetary support just in cash and compensation. There's just began a growing interest in the initiative that the foundation was taking. A lot more companies wanted to get involved, and a lot more really just got that interest after they heard of the original list that was being made. The overall rankings, other than the 2 criteria, were based on business size, industry, and location. This is mainly just for a larger company that offers both criteria, will obviously be higher than a smaller company.